Victorian Mallee country is possessed of a miracle topsoil which will grow anything with adequate water. Now, owing to wind erosion aggravated by drought, it is facing ruin. This was a farm. The miracle soil has gone with the wind, and valuable wheatland has become a desert. The sand was beneath the topsoil, and now freed, it moves on to smother thousands and thousands more valuable acres. It's a grim picture and a grimmer warning. Mallee roots, all that remains of the hardy eucalypt that covered this area, binding the soil. We killed off the mallee trees indiscriminately, and not content, dug up the roots for firewood. It's great firewood, but the wholesale removal of these mallee roots has helped to ruin the mallee country itself. Drought-ruined farmers find digging roots the only way to make a living. They are still digging and trucking them. One farmer has built windbreaks of mallee roots. They stop the sand that would not come if the roots were not indiscriminately destroyed. The mallee erosion story is full of grim irony. The farmer fights the soil to get a living, and then in a year of drought and wind, the soil is swept away, down to the limestone, the sandstone, and the sand. Note the depth of erosion and see how the roots of a tree bind the soil. The emu's natural feeding grounds are turned to desert, so the emus come into the farmer's hopeless crop. They smash his 4-foot fences. Where he has sheep, the sheep are starving. He can't hand feed them because fodder is at a prohibitive price and almost unprocurable. So he's trucking them out of the mallee before they die for adjustment elsewhere, or to realize on them while they're still worth something to the butcher. The horses are leaving the mallee too, and that is bad in a country where horses mean so much. The mallee lives on water distributed by the Victorian State Rivers and Water Commission. It comes to the farmer's dam. He digs his dam, and once a year the water flows by gravitation down these irrigation channels to fill the dams. Now the moving sand is filling the water channels, and the farmer needs his horses to keep them clear. But it's a losing battle. Channels are filled often 3 times in a week. Most farmers build only one dam. Farmer Hoffmeyer built several. He has this fine wheat crop even in a drought. 7 settlers went broke off this property known as Dead End Farm. But Farmer Hoffmeyer prospers. Why? Because he replanted trees and vegetation on part of his land. He didn't plow up every acre he owned. He built extra dams. On either side of him is desolation, but he has an oasis. There is a hard metal road here, but you can't see it. On the crest, he is 30 feet above the normal road level. Erosion did that. Erosion can bury the roads of this country. It has buried this, the main road to Mildura. This part of the land will be dead and buried, as ancient cities were buried in the sand, unless we do something about it. Hundreds of miles of roads in the mallee are already under sand. If the roads go and the railways go, the farmer must go too. Beside part of the railway, wind chutes have been built. Their effect is to divert the wind down at such a velocity that the sand is carried right across the line and keeps the line clear. To put up a mile of such chutes costs £350. A school in the mallee, where young Australians are growing up. To what? Their future is blowing away in the dusty air. They face migration or else. The farmers are going, deserted homesteads, symbols of their despair. There were 1,100 settlers here in 1925. Only 180 remain. The desert has come up from under the good earth and stands at the settler's door. Death is in the air. Horses died under the shade of the only trees. Where there are no trees, no grasses, there can be no life for very long. And soon only the bob-tailed lizard leaves his tracks in the sand. Basically, countrymen and citymen alike, we live from the land. But we are losing our soil, more precious than gold or silver. The sky is darkened with a pall of dust and sand to a dull, malevolent eye. The red pall flows over coastal cities. It irritates us. How dusty, we say. Don't call it dust. Call it earth. the good earth. That's somebody's farm up there in the sky, part of our land, part of Australia blowing away to be irrevocably lost in the Pacific Ocean. We have sown the wind and are reaping the whirlwind, a whirlwind which, if strong, effective barriers are not erected against it, will sweep this nation's prosperity away.